Can you hear us again in the background?
It's okay. All right, everybody. We are back again, and thank you for showing up again. We are less than a month away from the NFL draft. It's kind of sneaking up on us a little bit. Even the UFL actually kicked off this weekend. So make sure that you didn't miss any of that action because we got another doubleheader again tomorrow, right? No, but seriously, time is dragging on. I'm ready for the NFL season, but we're at least hitting some milestones creeping up on this draft. But let's just get into it, man. You already know this is total speculation. That one NFL show on that one NFL channel. I'm that one NFL guy. With me, you already know. We got our very own McLovin. It's Knipe, one word, no spaces, and man. You already know we got to kick this off with the quarterbacks because that's just what it is, man. If you want to talk about sports, you got to talk about the quarterbacks. And there's always quarterback news. This one, a little bit of a surprise coming up here. Basically, Jerry Jones was asked if him and Dak were working on a new contract. And as it turns out, they're not. Dak's going to play on this final year of his contract, and he's going to become a free agent next year. So that's a little bit risky move, if you ask me. Knipe, what are your thoughts on Dak being a free agent this next upcoming off season?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm wondering, does Jerry like this is why I wish I actually paid attention to college just a little bit more. I probably should, but I don't know. Does Jerry like a prospect like this much or something? You know what I mean? Or is it like the Manning kid? I don't know if that timing will work out.
Definitely not.
Yeah, well, either way, you know what I mean? Like, who does he like? Is there like a prospect they like? Is there someone?
There was like a rumor that maybe Shedeur Sanders.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is. But I mean, honestly, how could you even try to think that far ahead? You have no idea if you even have a chance at getting this person. You know?
But he might. So I mean, he's getting older, and if I'm in that stage of my life and I'm the owner of a freaking NFL franchise, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and say what that Rams guy said, just, fuck them picks. Like, I'm gonna trade away 3 first rounders or whatever it takes to get the pick that I want to get Shedeur Sanders, and that actually makes sense. Like, I didn't think about that. I thought about the whatever the Manning kid is.
Arch Manning.
Yeah, Arch. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not even a starter.
I know. I'm just saying, like, for the future, whatever. But yeah, I think Shedeur makes sense. That would be really cool, actually, to see him as a Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I always think it's real risky when you're giving up a franchise, because to me, Dak's top 10 quarterback. I mean, I know he's had his postseason struggles, but you're really not. I mean, it's going to be so hard for you to move on from Dak and find somebody better. Like, I just find that really hard to believe. And if I was them, I'd be signing him to a deal, because once you let him hit free agency, man, it's going to be like Kirk Cousins. I mean, that price is going to skyrocket because it is hard to get a franchise quarterback. So people will pay whatever it takes to get one. And I just think that you're really playing with fire here if you're Jerry Jones. Personally, I think that this is a mistake. And I think that we'll see Dak in probably a new uniform, because somebody is going to outbid that old ass motherfucker. So,
yeah, I mean, it is bold. I mean, I don't think it makes sense in my head to do that, but I was like, all right, well, I mean, he must have a plan, like he must have thought about it a little bit, or like he must be somewhat confident in something to be like, hey, Dak, we don't really care if you leave or not. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise you're just like trying to see who's going to outbid you. Like you said, I mean, you're going to get outbid.
I feel like if anything, he's got to be just trying to motivate him, to play really well on this year that he'd be going into free agency. And maybe he'll just match whatever. Maybe he's like, it doesn't matter because I'm going to pay him whatever it takes to keep him anyways. But I just think it's real risky to let him touch free agency, just because you just never know when somebody's going to come out with a fully guaranteed offer that just blows them away. Or maybe just something that's more intriguing. Maybe a situation that is just so perfect for you to walk into and you just feel like it's a better situation than Dallas. But we'll see, man. I mean, we'll see. We got a long ways from that. I just thought it was real interesting that they basically came out and said he's not getting a deal this offseason. But let's turn over to some guys that did get deals and some trades that did get done. All right. A guy that normally signs late in the season, but had a great year last year and signed pretty early now. We got Jadeveon Clowney signing with the Panthers, 2 years, $20 million. I feel like Clowney normally gets the same amount of money. It's just normally like right before the season starts or right before training camp starts, as a late off-season addition. But this year, getting it a little earlier. He's even talking about trying to get Stephon Gilmore to come over there to the Panthers with him, which honestly makes no sense to me because, come on, man. What are you guys doing over there in Carolina? Is there really anything that should appeal to you older players? I guess they're throwing that money around, so I guess that must have been what it was. The Steelers signed Cordell Patterson, Arthur Smith's joker, if you will. 2 years, $6 million. He's got a chance to crack the lineup at receiver, I feel like. Obviously, running back would be a little bit crowded with Najee Harris still getting touches, and then Jaylen Warren obviously coming out, being a pretty good back. But at wide receiver, they do got some open spots and some open touches there. So maybe you never know what they're going to do with the Joker over there, since he basically does whatever he wants to do. The Rams signed Tre'Davious White to a 1-year, $8.5 million contract with incentives up to $10 million. Rams also signed Darius Williams earlier in this offseason, so brand new cornerbacks over there with the Rams. I like that. I like that signing for them. I mean, obviously Tre'Davious has been hurt the last couple of years, but pair him with Darius Williams, who's already played for them in the past. I think it was a different defense then, but either way, it looks like that's going to fit like a glove over there. And then some good news, J.K. Dobbins cleared for football activities. And I actually saw a report that the Chargers are interested in him, which I think is really funny because they're basically just taking John's backfield and moving it over to L.A. if they do end up signing him. But
well, it's because, I mean, it's Greg Roman. That's who's bringing him over. It's not me.
Yeah.
Running backs, but like Roman, like was a part of the draft room whenever, you know, like they drafted those guys pretty, or at least in J.K. Dobbins, they drafted high. Was he a first rounder?
Second rounder.
Okay, that's right. Either way.
I mean, he's been good. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. That's his only problem. I mean, his career yards per carry is like 5.8 or something. It's really up there.
He's like what's that Seahawks guy who could never stay healthy. Then when he got healthy, he looked good. Rashad Penny. Same kind of thing in my opinion. Like same kind of comp right there. Like between those guys. Like, man, if y'all could just stay healthy and stop breaking your crap, like you might be able to have a sweet payday and a sweet career. But like, dude, sometimes the injury bug just gets you, you know.
Yeah, and then one other big move over the past week, the Jets trade for Haason Reddick. They give up a conditional third-round pick that can turn into a second if he has 10 sacks or he plays 67.5% of the snaps or more. So big move by the Jets there. It's kind of interesting because, the Eagles signed Bryce Huff earlier in free agency, and that was the Jets defensive end. So they basically swapped defensive ends, and then also the Eagles get a draft pick as well. So he didn't get a new deal. Normally when those go down, he gets a new deal with it, but no new deal to go with that trade. So he is playing on the last year of his deal with the Jets. We'll see if they extend him or if they're just using him as a rental. Obviously, they're all in this year with the Mike Williams and everything else that they got going on. The Jets are going all in for this year, but that's really it. I mean, we're going to the slow parts of free agency. We're really creeping up on draft time. And as a matter of fact, we're going to have to get somebody in here that knows these draft prospects a little bit better because to be honest with you, I'm kind of slacking the last couple of years. When you're not picking at the top like I'm used to, when I was picking at the top, I knew who all of them were, man. Because I was like, I want to know who we're getting with the first one and the second one, because the second one's basically another first round pick because you're picking so high in the second round. But now that you're like middle to the back, it's just been less appealing to really dig in that deep. But I know a guy we can call to get on here and get us informed there. Let's just take a quick look though at who is left for free agency and just see if we can start some conversation there, because I don't think that it's really that many people that are like big impact players, but there's still a few, man. It's not completely dry out there just yet. So this is showing the top 20. Actually, Clowney's included on this list, who obviously he already got signed, but Justin Simmons, I actually am pretty surprised he hasn't been signed yet. There was a lot of safeties this year, so that is working against him. But also, Justin Simmons was probably the best safety in free agency this year. So a little surprised to see that he's still there. Stephon Gilmore, another really good player. I don't know if I'd put him 2 because I actually think I would if I was looking for a corner, I'd probably go Xavier Howard over him. But regardless, both of those are really top options looking for a starting corner. And I actually look at KC since they were able to trade away Snead. They freed up $20 million in cap space. I wouldn't be surprised if they got one of these guys on 1-year deal, especially Xavier Howard. I'm pretty sure he went in to visit with the Chiefs, but he already said that he's willing to take less money to play for a contender. Also, we got a couple of other safeties on here. Quandre Diggs from the Seahawks and Justin Blackman from the Colts. With all these safeties out here, that's really what's hurting all of them because it turns into a who's going to take this low ball offer since there's so many of you guys. Then you got Calais Campbell, who, oh my God, 37 years old, man. My man is still out here grinding, out here getting snaps, making plays, okay? If Calais Campbell has any interest in coming back to Jacksonville, we would welcome him with open arms and a rotational spot in this lineup, okay? Adoree Jackson, he's kind of so-so for me. Him and Jamal Adams. You already know how I feel about Jamal Adams. I wouldn't even sign Jamal Adams. I'd be like, no. If you want to, yeah, I'll give you a training camp invite to play linebacker, okay? You're not touching the field as a safety for me. J.K. Dobbins on this list. Odell Beckham, a lot of rumors that he's going to Miami. That would be really interesting to me with him being over there. Just imagine him, Waddle, and then
oh my God, yeah.
Hill. Like, oh my God, he'd be the third there. It'd be like basically when he went to the Rams pretty much, which I'm trying to think was that before Mike got the job in Miami?
Who?
Mike McDaniels? Yeah, I think it was, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But Micah Hyde, another good option for safety position. Tyler Boyd, kind of surprised he hasn't signed somewhere because he just seems like the kind of guy where he's at a point in his career where he just take that team-friendly deal and just get on a team. But still out there. Connor Williams was playing really well, and then he tore his ACL in December. So that's going to kind of hurt him a little bit because he's obviously not going to be ready right at the start of the season, but can definitely find some value still, even at spots like center. And then these other guys, so kind of. Michael Thomas, I could actually see him being a good option for the Jags. I've said that a couple times just because he's a big body guy. But obviously his numbers have declined and his health, he just can't seem to stay healthy. So, but obviously, he's not going to get a big contract. So he's kind of low risk, high ceiling kind of player to me. Michael Gallup just hasn't really been the same player since his injury as well. He's another guy that I think you're probably not going to have to spend a lot of money to get, but could have some high upside there. I don't even know who this guy is. Do you know who this guy is?
What's his name?
Ahkello Witherspoon for the Rams, wide receiver.
He's a wide receiver. I thought, dude.
He must play corner. Okay,
yeah,
they wrote wide receiver, and I was thinking, how have I not heard of this guy? He's on this list. But no, he must play corner, especially 14 passes defended, 3 interceptions, 48 completion percentage. So there's still a few guys out there, man. It's not completely dried up on that free agency market just yet. But it is time to switch over to draft talk because free agency for now, at least, is dead. We're going to see a lot more signings after that period ends, which I believe is like right after the draft when it no longer counts against the compensation, the draft compensation formula for those comp picks. So that'll kind of get those guys moving in the right direction as far as signing teams. But one guy we do know coming in the NFL draft, Caleb Williams, man, he's a real controversial player. Okay, people either love him or they freaking hate him, and everybody's got an opinion on whether he should tell. Like RG3's like he should tell the Bears, "I'm not coming." He should pull an Eli and say, "Screw you guys." Which honestly, to me, that sounds like some ridiculousness. Okay, because if I'm Caleb Williams, like you're telling me that you're Caleb Williams and you don't want to play on this Bears team, which is totally revamped. It is not the same Bears team that Justin Fields got stuck with. No, this is a dream team for a number 1 overall pick. Like, you are not going into a bad situation. The worst thing I say about going to Chicago if you're quarterback is it's called the Windy City for a reason. And it's not easy to throw into wind. That obviously can fuck some shit up for you. But that, to me, that as far as Caleb Williams not wanting to go to Chicago, that's the biggest downfall because, I mean, they got good defensive players. They were on a tear at the end of last year. So I just don't see any reason why he wouldn't want to do that. But there are other people, okay, that just don't like him. They're like, this guy is all Hollywood. He's nothing about ball, okay? And then the cameras show him every second they can, right? So he goes to celebrate. You know, he's chilling. March Madness. My man's out there. He's all dolled up. All right, he's got the lip gloss on. He put a little bit of fingernail polish on. He's got his pink phone case to match. Okay, and everybody has got all cameras on him. All right, and now we got to just talk about it. We got to talk about the fact that my man decided to wear lip gloss and get his fingernails painted, and he's got a pink phone case. And people are out here on the internet saying like they're not going to accept him in the locker room, and nobody's going to like him. And I just can't help but laugh at those kind of comments because I'm just like, listen, man, we're in 2024 right now, okay? This is the easiest time to be accepted in the world, all right? And this is a new locker room, okay? This isn't the first time we've seen shit like this, all right? People used to think Jalen Ramsey was suspect. People got over that shit, okay? People used to think, I'm blanking. There was another example I had here. Oh, Ezekiel Elliott. Remember Ezekiel Elliott used to wear like the cropped topped shirts, and
Dude,
people would.
The funniest thing I remember about that was when like the Vince Wilfork, he came out in the Texans, like he came out with a crop top also, like in the.
Oh, did he? Oh, I thought.
Yeah, he did that in Hard Knocks. It was hilarious, man. That was so funny.
Yeah. Well, what my point is, nobody is gonna care. All right. The only thing that's gonna matter is can you fucking win us games? That's all that's gonna matter. But everybody wants to talk about the fact that my man is out here wearing lip gloss, fingernails, and he's got a pink phone case. Like, who fucking cares, dude? Who cares? So you're not going to draft him 1 overall over that?
I mean, yeah, I didn't really read into that or look into that. I didn't really care. Because I just want to see him on the football field, dude. Like his tape looks really fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like, we all know it. Like, you can say whatever you want. It looks like Patrick Mahomes type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the arm reminds me of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, like that kind of like dude. You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm curious about. I don't like whatever else about all the other crap. I know it's off season, we're bored, but like I'm not that bored, dog. I'm fully expecting Caleb to be a difference maker, and I mean he looks like he can do it. You know what I mean? Like obviously you have to actually go. It's totally different when the lights come on and it's game time. You know what I mean? Like now line up and let's do this. Like it takes a different type of man to go out there and do that. So I mean, are you a gamer or not, dog? That's all I care about. Are you a gamer or not? You know what I mean? Like I want to see you perform on Sundays, and if you're gonna sit here and give me 1 touchdown a week, we ain't gonna be tight. You know what I mean? I don't care about anything else. You give me 1 touchdown a week, I ain't gonna be cool with you. You need to start throwing some touchdowns. And like I said, dude, I still want to see like video of the first practice because they do it. Like the coach needs to line up DJ Moore and Jalen Johnson and make him do that, dude. Like that has to happen. I want that to happen. Speaking into existence, I want to see that video.
Yeah, I mean at this point, if you're Caleb Williams, you can really do whatever you want because like you're a lock. Like there's no way you're going anywhere except Chicago. So I think at this point, he's kind of having fun with it. He obviously made the video after that. That was like, I don't remember what he said. Something about my lips are pink and your girl likes it or something like that. But he's obviously just having fun with it at this point. He doesn't give a shit, which honestly, I would say is more of a good sign that he just literally just doesn't care. It's just like in his own world. So good for you, Caleb. Enjoy this time because you are definitely a lock to go number 1 overall. All right, well, listen, there's not a lot going on, obviously. We're talking about Caleb Williams' fucking fingernails and his fucking lips right now. So, obviously, there's not a lot going on. But I tell you something that is going on is we got some rule changes that are going into effect in 2024. And there's actually way more than I thought. I thought it was just a couple. Like, I wrote the ones down that I had kind of focused on, and then I like looked it up because I was gonna like get like a nice little thing for us to look at and compare. And I noticed that there's actually like a good bit more. So we're gonna take a look, but we're only gonna focus on the ones that I understand, because there was a couple that I read that I have no clue what it even means. So we're going to kind of glance at those just so I can tell you that, yes, this is the one that I don't understand what this is saying. But there's 12 new rule changes. Okay. Oh, why does this look like this? Oh my gosh. Does it look funny on your screen too?
I mean, like I told you, but I'm on my iPhone,
Oh,
so like this
right.
thing's
You
pretty
can't see it.
small.
You can't see it. Okay. There we go. I just had to refresh. There for a second. All right. So this one made sense. This was an easy one. I felt like this was proposed by the Lions and Motown MCDC Dan Campbell. Basically wants clubs to have the ability to get a third challenge, and all they have to do is get one successful challenge on one of their first two. Normally, you had to get both of them right. Now they changed it to just getting one of those right gets you the third challenge. I think that makes sense. You shouldn't have to get all of your challenges right to get one more. If you got one right, you should be able to save that one. So that makes sense to me. It was kind of an easy one. This one right here, to allow for enforcement of a major foul by the offense prior to a change of possession in a situation where there are fouls by both teams. Knife, what does that mean to you?
Don't do that. I wasn't even paying attention. I was actually, I was trying to get my.
I don't know what that one means. I really don't. I guess we'll just see. We'll see when the preseason comes and they're testing this out. I'm gonna say it one more time just for everybody to think about it together. Okay.
Yeah.
And now sometimes you just need somebody to actually show you an example. But basically, to allow an enforcement of a major foul by the offense prior to a change of possession in a situation where there are fouls by both teams. Yeah, don't know what that means. All right, this one I did understand, and I'm fine with it. To include a ruling of passer down by contact or out of bounds before throwing a pass as a reviewable play. I didn't even actually know that wasn't reviewable in like a 2-minute situation or anything, but that is now reviewable. So I kind of agree with that. Honestly, I think everything should be reviewable, to be honest with you. And I think there should be a sky judge. But and this kind of moves us towards that, to allow a replay review when there is clear and obvious visual evidence that the game clock expired before any snap. That is one that I feel like they miss all the time.
I feel like
that makes sense.
I feel like that's like them going like, hey, you know, when we look up on the Jumbotron, like all of us at one time, like as a nation, and we all see, hey, his foot was in bounds. Like, yeah, like we need to be able to adjust that call if it's like, you know, not reviewable technically. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, we're all here. We're all watching the same game, right? Like, dude, really?
Yeah, exactly. And here is the rule change that everybody is talking about: the banning of the hip drop tackle. Oh my God, man. I'm going to be honest with you. It is impossible to play defense in 2024, okay? Because, listen, I mean, if you shouldn't intentionally be hurting anybody, and that's kind of what Tom Pelissero reported is the main reason for this tackle, because basically he's saying that there are certain teams, and didn't name which teams, but said that there are certain teams that the NFL believes basically tells their players to do this, and that it's a dangerous tackle, but they want to encourage people to drop their weight, which will obviously fall in like an ankle or knee or anything like that, which causes a lot of injuries. But some of these tackles are literally just like people getting tackled from behind. Like, I mean, what are you supposed to do, man? They eliminated the head from being able to touching head contact in the tackles, which makes everybody go low. And now it's like, well, you can go low, but don't use your weight to get people down. Okay, you need to just smack them in the mouth. If they don't fall down, they don't fall down. So I just think it's ridiculous, honestly, the hip drop tackle thing, in my opinion. I understand people get hurt doing it, but at some point, football is football, and they got to find a way to tackle people. So I don't know what else to say about that one.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy to hear that one, just because, again, like, I mean, I don't know. I wonder how the players feel. Honestly, that's really whose opinion like matters in this one. Like I agree
All
with
the
you.
defensive players are complaining. All of them on social media were like sharing it with like trash can emojis and stuff like
Okay,
that. So
good.
they're
So
not fans.
that's who we need to listen to. Like, can we all agree that that's like I don't know. Why are we not listening to the guys who are playing the football game? Like how it bugs the crap out of me. I'm
I
wondering.
will say, oh, go ahead.
I'm wondering like at what point like is it going to be like 2040 when the rules get so stupid that it's like it's flag football, like that's the joke, you know what I mean? It's like we're playing flag football at this point, like, and then honestly, I want to know what point it gets to like the players being like, screw this, we are going to just play football, like you know what I mean? Like, okay, flag us, like we'll just keep playing football. Like I don't know what you want from us anymore. Like we're just gonna play. You know, that's what I would do if I was a player. I would get everyone together and be like, yo, let's just play. Can we just play football? Like let's act like we're in the backyard. Let's like line up. Let's smash each other in the mouth. Like that's what the game's about, right? Like it's about like just destroying each other pretty much, and then like seeing who can hang with who on the outside. You know what I mean? Like it's a crazy sport, but like dude, that's what they love about it, and like let them play the way that the game should be played. Like stop with this like the kid glove stuff, like the foam wrapping around everything. Like what are we doing, man?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because Tom Pelissero, when he reported everything that like happened, McAfee brought him on the show to explain the hip drop tackle and everything, and that's where I got the information about the NFL not liking teams like basically teaching that technique. And what Tom thinks is going to happen is they're going to test this out in the preseason, and then basically refs just aren't going to call it for like the whole season, and it's just going to be one of those things where the NFL starts fining people after the fact, and they're just going to end up sending fines to teams. But McAfee brought up a good point because even if it happens like that, like it's almost guaranteed that when the playoffs come, some controversial call on the hip drop tackle is going to happen this offseason, or not this offseason, but this playoff year. Like there's going to be one really controversial hip drop tackle penalty that costs a team major in the playoffs, and then it's just going to be more controversy. And you talk about the refs, like they already struggle with the rules as it is. We want to add another element, another subjectation type of call, like the hip drop tackle, like just really playing with fire here. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the refs are human at the end of the day. Like I know there's a lot of them out there, but like, dude, you know how hard that is to tell in real time exactly what's happening sometimes? Like, I don't know. Like you said, you're asking a lot at this point, and like that's just adding to it. Like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, especially from referee crew that has underperformed season after season after season. But all right, let's slide on because we can talk about that one all day, and I'm sure that we'll end up talking about it again once that first controversial call gets thrown. But another thing that got approved here, and I actually think I'm a pretty big fan of this. Which this is funny. So the NFL took the XFL's rule on the kickoff, which basically means the kicker stands back where he normally stands, kicks the ball off. The kicking team, I believe they start off on like the team's 40, so it's not as much impact on the run for the kickback. The reason the NFL went to this is because there were so few kickoffs being returned last year, and they want to include, which honestly is their fault because they changed the rule where people can just take it at the 25 regardless of if it's a touchback or not. So they kind of screwed themselves on that. But this new one is supposed to encourage people to take the kick because you get it at the 30 instead if you don't. And then also they're saying that you're going to be able to use your more explosive playmakers like Tyreek Hill, people like that, and teams are going to consider it because the people aren't going to be getting hurt as much on this play since they're starting at the 40. So I'm all for it only because the kickoffs have gotten so boring at this point, and almost all of them are just touchbacks, unless somebody just blatantly takes it out anyways. But I'm all for this one just to try to make special teams more interesting again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it needs it too because I mean, like you said, last year there was basically no kickoff returns. It felt that way too. Like there was no excitement that happened on that side of the ball, which is like, man, like when Devin Hester was doing his thing, like that dude, you would tune into games that he was part of just to do like watch him. Like I'm all.
And we still get it on the punts, but I just feel like kickoffs, it's so rare at this point. It really is. Here's another one that I honestly don't even have an opinion on it. I don't even really like. I kind of know what it means, but also like I didn't even know that it wasn't this way. But to provide NFL clubs with an unlimited number of designated return transactions in the postseason, I didn't even know that that was something that was limited. Oh my gosh, it just messed up on me again. Let me refresh this. All right, there we go. Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a limit on that, but apparently there is, and now there isn't. Oh yeah, the trade deadline moved to week 9 instead of week 8. I actually want your opinion on this. Can I? What do you care at all about that move, or any thoughts on it?
I mean, not really. I mean, as far as like that, the trade deadline to me, it only matters in fantasy football. So I don't really care about it in real life. Like, I mean, if it was week 2 in real life, I wouldn't care. As long, I mean, I'm on fantasy on that one. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah. No, I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I have no opinion, but also I feel like the reasons for it, like if you really want to make an impact, you're gonna have to move it more than 1 week. Like it feels like 1 week is just kind of pointless. Just like, okay, like what were you gonna get done on week 8 that you wouldn't have gotten done on week 7? You know, like I don't know. I guess maybe somebody gets hurt in that next week, but then you can make the same case for the next week somebody could get hurt.
No,
So,
I think their idea behind it would have been like, for as an owner, they want to know, they want a clear picture of the playoff picture at that point. So they're trying to inch it along. Maybe
it's
someone.
not that much more. Like one more game, is that
No,
really going to give you like is that really the difference between trading away a superstar and like trading for a superstar? Like is that really
I mean,
making
that's
that
the.
much of a
I'm not
difference?
saying that. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but like that's the idea. Is like they want to have a better idea of the playoff picture, so they know what kind of moves they're gonna make. So my
I
guess
mean,
is,
I know that's the reason they did it, but I just feel like it like with it being one more week, you still don't really have any more of an idea.
I mean, yeah.
It's just so small, like so small of a difference. Um, all right, let's slide over. This thing keeps messing up, so we got to get through this quicker, I guess. So the week 9 one, let's see here. Each club is permitted to place a maximum of 2 players who are placed on an applicable reserve list on the business day of the final roster reduction to be designated for return. Such players will immediately count as 2 of the club's total designations. Whatever, no opinion. Yeah, this quarterback rule, don't care about that. Buffalo to make the injury reporting rules for players who do not travel with their clubs to away games from their home city competitively fairer. So I guess that wasn't being reported fairly. I don't know.
I just want to pop. This is riveting YouTube right now.
Is it? I'm just looking through it because I didn't even know. Like I thought it was just those basic, like the hip drop,
Dude.
the trade deadline, but there's all these other intricate ones, and you're just like, what does this even mean?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, and this one's actually interesting. 2023 preseason trial of providing a specific Hawkeye feed in the coaches booth for the 2024 preseason with full implications for the 2025 season. So that's basically the sky ref that can overrule calls. So
Nice.
I don't know why we have to do things so slowly, but at least we're getting there, you know. At least we're slowly making our way there.
Yeah, that sky ref is like, that's what's up.
Wow, we have 13 people on here. So you're right. There is some riveting rule changes being broken in this show right now. People probably didn't even know that was.
I was saying that because you were like mumble reading to yourself like the article.
Was I? Trying to. I mean, I was talking normal. I guess I just got to speak up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right. Well, you know, I like to bash the NFL when I can, when they fuck shit up, which is pretty constant. Okay. But I got to also give them credit when credit is due. And let me tell you, okay, I am really happy with what I'm seeing out of my NFL schedule makers as of late. All right. Now, let me first explain that I normally have a huge issue with the way the NFL schedule is laid out, normally because of how many games are put on the 1 p.m. slate versus the 4 p.m. slate. It's absolute ridiculousness. It makes no sense. I recently found out, though, I recently learned that there is a reason for that. And it's because the networks that pay for those 4 p.m. games, they pay significantly more. So it's intentional to have less games on those slots. I still think it's stupid, but at the same time, I've learned to ignore it. So we're going to look past that portion of it because we're just going to have to. Apparently, they're paying so much money that we can't evenly lay out these games. And that's just what it is. We can't change the price range on it. We can't just charge more for the ones and an even amount for the fours. That's not a possibility. We got to really differentiate how much you're paying for each game. So looking past that stupid aspect of it, all right, the NFL has scheduled a Friday game in week 1, okay, which I didn't even think they were allowed to do because there was some weird high school rule about NFL and college not playing when the high school athletes are playing on their Friday night lights. But apparently that's not an issue anymore because the NFL is playing a game in Brazil. I know the Eagles are playing, but I believe they're playing the Jets was what they were saying. But that's going to be awesome because we're going to have that first Thursday game, then we're going to have that Friday game, and then right before the Sunday slate and that week 1. Obviously, we also now have the Black Friday game every year on Black Friday, so that's going to be sweet. All right, and then this year, all right, we're also going to have a double header on Christmas Day. I know what you're thinking. We had a doubleheader on the last couple Christmas days. Okay, but Christmas this year is on a fucking Wednesday. All right? So here's the NFL's plan for this. That's when they start the Saturday games. So whoever the 2 teams are that play on that Wednesday, they're going to have played on the Saturday previous. That way it's like they're playing on Thursday night football. So it's still 4 days. That's the NFL's plan for that. But listen, some people are bitching about it, especially the sports people that work in sports. Like, fuck, man, never get to hang out with my family on Christmas. Yeah, well, guess what, asshole? That's because I want to watch football, all right? And we get it this year again. And listen, there's like a stretch where because we get football on that Wednesday for Christmas, okay? We're going to get it the Monday, the Sunday prior. Then we're going to get that Thursday the next day. Then we're going to get it Saturday. Then we're going to get it Sunday. And then the college football playoffs start. So it's like 5 or 6 straight days of football in December, January this year. It's going to be awesome. The schedule makers are really rocking the boat this year, Knipe. And they're letting us know early because normally we don't find this information until like schedule release. But the NFL was so excited. They were like, ooh, we got to get this one out. We got to get this one out. And let me tell you, I appreciate it. I really do because I am pumped up for that.
Yeah, dude, I'm happy. I'm not like obviously all the schedule stuff, but like even more to the schedule. The Niners play in Green Bay this year, which is awesome because I'm gonna try and get Max out here again too. So we'll see how it goes.
Lucky for you. That's pretty much the show you today, guys. That's pretty much it. There's not much going on. The last thing I just wanted to mention, just because it's funny, in case you haven't seen it, have you seen the Damar Hamlin, Antonio Brown Twitter beef that's going on right now?
Dude, if you have beef with AB on Twitter, I can only imagine what
AB started it. So AB has been cooking on social media. Let me tell you. I'm dead ass serious. Normally Antonio Brown is like a complete idiot, and he still is an idiot. Don't get me wrong. Like he's still a dummy on Twitter, but he's been funny. He's been funny lately. And he really took some shots over here, him and Damar Hamlin. All right, I'm just gonna pull it up. So basically the original tweet is a fictional character's death that you have not yet gotten over. And then AV posted Damar Hamlin. He always posts the hashtag CTE ESPN, basically, like CTE Sports. And he showed Damar Hamlin. So then Damar Hamlin had to clap back at him, talking about you're always in my DMs and blah, blah, blah. You just freaking crazy in the head. And then AB said that somebody else is running the Twitter account. And honestly, AB went on a rant because first he was talking about somebody else running the Twitter account, which to be honest with you would make a lot of sense because he's been hitting on way too many tweets for it to really be AB because he's not really like he's a simple man, as we all know. And he knows only simple words and he doesn't make strong correlations and connections. But then he just kept going on a random tweets. I couldn't even screenshot them all. I was like, I just want to bring it up just so we know that AB's out here like beefing with the guy that came back to life for some reason, just for no reason, just having fun. AB out here living his best life, man. He's really become a Twitter star. He does a cracker of the day segment where he just picks out a white guy that he likes and they make cracker of the day. So he's making some moves in the Twitter sphere. So good for AB. But listen, guys, that's the show. All right. I know maybe it's boring this time of year. That's okay. All right. We're just here to have fun. If you want to, there's 14 people watching. So we appreciate it. If you ever want to join in, jump on the comments. I'll see them. I'll throw them up. You can join the conversation. Let us know if there's something else you want us to talk about. We'll switch it up. Listen, from this point forward, we're going to focus on draft. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to have to bring somebody in that actually knows what the fuck is going on with the picks past pick 10, because I'll tell you right now, I am not the guy to ask. So we're going to bring somebody else in that is very knowledgeable on the
Do I know him, or are you going to keep it a secret? What's going on here?
No, you know him. I haven't even asked him, but I'm just assuming he's going to do it.
He's going to be voluntold.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, we're going to have some fun with it, and it's going to be a good offseason, man. Baseball season is on the horizon now. We've got 7 months of that. So, if you're ever looking for something to fall asleep to, hey, wow. Turn it on.
Dude.
Turn it on, okay? Let me save you the trouble, all right? We got the Dodgers and the Braves competing for the World Series this year. And we'll see what happens.
Like teams, you dingus.
Yeah, and they're the two. Between those two, I don't know who's going to win it, but it's going to be one of them.
Okay, well, yeah. Don't be hating over here, dog. I mean, I know it's an NFL show, but MLB is awesome. Get out of here.
It's something to do when there's no football. But until next time, guys, we appreciate you watching. We'll catch you later. This is Total Speculation. I'm that one NFL channel. I'm that one NFL guy. And our very own McLovin, me and him are out of here. We'll see y'all.